The 2025 WNBA draft was supposed to be a night of celebration for Hailey Van Lith. One of the most electrifying guards in college basketball, she was finally going pro. But as the Chicago Sky called her name at pick number 11, a chill ran down the spines of basketball fans everywhere. Why? Because Van Lith's reaction wasn't joy, it wasn't excitement, it was pure, unadulterated dread. Why? 2 words, Angel Reese. Yes, the same Angel Reese who played with Van Lith at LSU, the same Angel Reese who seemed to suck the air out of the room and the ball out of Van Lith's hands every time she stepped on the court. The cameras caught Van Lith's reaction to the pick, and it was about as subtle as a brick through a window. Stiff posture, forced smile, that blank 1,000-yard stare that screamed, "Get me out of here." And then came the interview. When asked about teaming up with Reese again, Van Lith mumbled something about loving that energy. Love, huh? The only energy anyone else saw was the nervous energy of a woman about to walk the plank. The whole thing was more awkward than a family reunion with your weird uncle who still wears socks with sandals. This wasn't the dream debut Van Lith had envisioned. This was the beginning of a nightmare. You know you're in trouble when the internet turns on you faster than a pack of rabid dogs. And trust me, within minutes of Van Lith's draft night debacle, social media was lit up like a Christmas tree. #FreeHailey started trending faster than you could say double-double. Fans posted side-by-side photos. Van Lith beaming at Louisville, Van Lith scowling at LSU. The message was clear. This reunion was a disaster waiting to happen. Even LeBron James, a man who knows a thing or two about awkward team reunions, chimed in on Twitter. "Somebody get that girl a one-way ticket out of Chicago." Okay, maybe LeBron didn't actually say that, though knowing the king, it's not out of the realm of possibility. But the point is, everyone from casual fans to NBA superstars could see the writing on the wall. This wasn't going to end well. Look, I'm all about narratives and drama, but sometimes numbers speak louder than words. And in the case of Hailey Van Lith, the numbers paint a bleak picture. At Louisville, Van Lith was a bona fide star. Averaging nearly 20 points a game, she was the focal point of the offense, the go-to scorer, the queen bee. Then came the move to LSU. Now, I'm not saying Angel Reese is the sole reason for Van Lith's statistical decline, but let's just say the correlation is about as subtle as Shaquille O'Neal at an all-you-can-eat buffet. With Reese gobbling up rebounds and dominating the paint, Van Lith's scoring average plummeted to a measly 11.6 points per game. Her shots decreased, her assists dwindled, and her role in the offense shrunk faster than my patience during a Skip Bayless rant. Then came the transfer to TCU. Free from the shadow of Reese, Van Lith's numbers bounced back like a bad check. Her scoring average jumped back up to 17.9 points a game. She was back to being the aggressive, dynamic scorer everyone knew she could be. The lesson here? Hailey Van Lith shines brightest when she's the center of attention. And in Chicago, with Angel Reese already wearing the crown, something tells me Van Lith's light is about to get a whole lot dimmer. Let's be clear, Angel Reese is a beast on the court. The girl can ball, she's a walking double-double, a rebounding machine, and a nightmare for any opponent. But there's a fine line between dominance and, well, let's just say diva behavior. And from the sounds of it, Reese crossed that line somewhere between Baton Rouge and the Windy City. Reports out of the Chicago Sky locker room paint a picture of an environment that can only be described as toxic. Teammates reportedly felt pressured to feed Reese the ball, even if it meant sacrificing better shots or disrupting the flow of the offense. Individual growth took a back seat to Reese's stat sheet, and the concept of team chemistry? Well, let's just say that went out the window faster than my lunch after a particularly spicy burrito. Now, I'm all for players who are hungry for success. But when that hunger starts to consume everyone around you, it becomes a problem. And based on the whispers coming out of Chicago, Angel Reese's appetite for dominance might just be the thing that devours the entire Sky franchise from the inside out. So let's recap, shall we? We've got Hailey Van Lith, a talented guard who thrives as the focal point of the offense, stuck on a team with a history of prioritizing one player above all else. We've got Angel Reese, a stat sheet stuffer with a reputation for being, shall we say, demanding of her teammates. And we've got a locker room that's about as welcoming as a den of rattlesnakes. Tell me again why anyone thought this was a good idea. Look, I'm not saying Van Lith's career is over before it even began. But I'm also not going to sugarcoat it. This situation has red flag written all over it. Van Lith needs a team that will empower her, not stifle her. She needs a coach who can foster a culture of collaboration, not resentment. And she needs teammates who are more interested in winning championships than padding their own stats. Unfortunately, right now, the Chicago Sky doesn't seem to check any of those boxes. And unless something changes drastically and fast, I fear Van Lith's time in the Windy City will be short, unhappy, and ultimately a major setback in what should be a long and prosperous career. You'd think that after the draft night drama, after the social media frenzy, after the countless articles questioning the sanity of reuniting Van Lith and Reese, that someone would, address the elephant in the room. But when asked about Van Lith's arrival in Chicago, Angel Reese's response was less than reassuring. "Let's run it back," she said with a shrug, seemingly oblivious to the fact that the last time these two ran it back, it ended with Van Lith's stats in the toilet and a one-way ticket to TCU. The only other piece of advice Reese offered her new teammate? Be in shape. Oh, is that all it takes? Maybe someone should have told Russell Westbrook that before he joined the Lakers. Look, I'm all for confidence. But there's a difference between confidence and arrogance. And frankly, Reese's dismissive attitude towards the situation is downright disrespectful. Not just to Van Lith, but to the entire Sky organization. It's like she's already decided that this is her team, her show, and everyone else is just along for the ride. And something tells me that's not the kind of leadership that's going to lead to championships. The WNBA is a business, but it's also a pressure cooker. And for a young player like Hailey Van Lith, already facing the weight of expectation and the scrutiny of a city starving for a winner, the situation in Chicago could be downright suffocating. The spotlight is harsh, the competition is fierce, and the margin for error is razor thin. And let's be honest, right now, the odds are stacked against her. If Van Lith thrives in Chicago, if she finds a way to coexist with Reese and elevate her game, it'll be a testament to her talent, her resilience, and her ability to block out the noise. But if she struggles, if her game stagnates, if the toxicity of the locker room proves to be too much to overcome, it could have a devastating impact on her career. Fair or not, she'll be labeled as difficult, as unable to handle the pressure, as not a team player. And those labels, once attached, can be incredibly hard to shake. The Chicago Sky gambled on Hailey Van Lith. But the truth is, Hailey Van Lith might be the one taking the biggest gamble of all. Let's hope, for her sake, and for the sake of basketball fans everywhere, that this time, the dice roll in her favor, because the alternative is a loss that nobody wants to see.